Friends, Mr. Kotekar has given us extra flavor before lunch to create a win-win, to be a preferred supplier. A big round of applause again to him. It's open to the audience for questions and answers. We've got precisely 8 minutes to go. Mr. Kesar has put in a very tight line. 1:25, we must close the session. I think everybody's anxious for lunch. Yes, please. Okay, Ganesh.
Can you hear me? Okay. This question is for David. I think you kind of outlined why we are not, India, a competitive country in the garment industry. Why do you think, is it, I mean, from your presentation, it seems like probably the business leaders or the owners of companies here are not, don't have that vision. Can you kind of put a finger on what is probably the underlying reason why we've not been able to be, what you showed us was the outcome of what has happened. What would be the underlying reason for it, as per you?
I can't tell you until the project is in process. I'm sorry.
Can you closer to the mic, please?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? The project is in process. If you would like the answers, you ask this gentleman over here, Mr. Mathur. He has the answers. He can tell you. No, we've given the clients the outline of the strategy. There is a practical solution. We only deal in practical solution. And there is a short-term solution and a long-term solution. It means enrolling a large number of stakeholders. It means showing everybody that they're going to succeed and that the greatest success will go to the government because this is their project. And to the degree the project is successful, the government will get the advantage. But I can assure you there is a solution to the problem.
Mr. Mathur, sir, we all look up to you for further guidance on the issue. Next question, please.
My question is to Mr. Kiran. Unfortunately, he was asked to cut down, when it was coming to solution
I apologize for that.
Yeah, solution side. So my request is to share with the entire hall, that how much is the cost factor of this so-called supply chain, and what is the exact imperative of it.
Mr. Kiran, we need a half-minute noodle on this, please.
I did not understand. You mean what is the investment that you will have to do to get? As a matter of fact, the investment is practically zero, because the improvement is done through change in the current way of thinking, and that's good news and bad news because you get admonished for it. The good news is that you don't require investment; you just require a change in thinking. So it does not require any capex or machines or. It's in the current. It's just taking care of the current problem, current issues, challenges.
Excellent, Mr. Kiran. It's music to our ears. We look forward to more interaction on that later. Thank you. Next question, please.
Yeah. Hi. My name is Ankur. My question is to Mr. Kiran. Basically, you're talking about successful supply chain. The key behind successful supply chain is inventory management that you have discussed. We can take an example of Walmart. The Walmart is successful because of integration with the supplier, and it has cut down the intermediaries. So how can we cut down in the case of export house where defragmented industry is there in every stage like yarn, fabric? Like how can you overcome the uncertainty of the demand and supply? Because there you can have a smooth supply chain.
Please restrict your question.
Yeah, that's my question.
So I'm confused.
Over to you, Mr. Kiran. As easy as you can make it.
Yeah. See, the clients are speculating, they're forecasting, right? Can you help them reduce the period for that forecasting? Then that variability on the front end comes down, which is decreasing your time to respond. Yes. The clue lies in the fact that your actual touch times are 10-15% of the total lead time that you're talking about. If you crash that, the amount of uncertainty in the front end reduces dramatically. Secondly, when you try to kill the intermediaries because you're not making money, try to understand the actual need of the clients, give them a win-win offer. Everybody in the supply chain should make money.
Excellent food for thought. We're all hungry for lunch. Next question, please. We've
Yeah.
got 2 more questions left.
I am Vivek from Nitra. My question is for Mr. David. Based on your past international experience as well as experience with the Indian garment industry, from where do you see the Indian industry going in the next 10 years? Recovering from here or going down further?
The solution really is in your hands. India should be the center of the fashion industry. There aren't many places in Asia where people have real fashion sense. They don't have it in China, to tell you the truth. They certainly don't have it in Vietnam or Cambodia or Bangladesh. Just look at the design work that's being done here now. The problem is that if you're going to be in the fashion business, you're dealing in small quantities, large numbers of orders, very short lead times, and probably trial orders, because that's the only way of cutting down the markdowns. You have to have a factory that's organized this, and you need a supply chain that will deliver.
Excellent. I hope that answered your question. Next question, please.
David, this is for you.
Yes.
On your slides, you showed decline, and you pointed out Korea and Taiwan with very huge declines.
Mm-hmm.
Understandable as far as the factories were concerned, but between the two countries, they control the major supply chain for almost every large retailer.
No, Hong Kong does, but you're right.
Fabrics, the factories are owned by Koreans all over.
No, I agree with that. I made the point.
Excuse me, David, please let him complete.
My question was, we identified India as a superior in design and development. Maybe we have fallbacks in the supply chain and making that design happen. What is the advice you are giving to the industry to create their own branding and capitalize on their strengths?
Thank you. Over to David, please.
Okay, this is a very difficult problem. The fact that you own a factory does not give you a branding advantage. Factories, if you are a brand and you are dealing in ski wear, your actual annual sales will take place over a 4-month period. It makes no difference. If you're doing $100 million a year, $25 million a month for 4 months, it's $100 million you do well. Try that in a factory, you'll go broke. A factory survives because it has steady, reliable business. It's very hard for me to think of any factory that ever made the transition, of course, except the most famous one, Zara, which was a factory to begin with.
Wow, don't get us started on that. Thank you so much. Now, I would invite Mr. Kesar to take over the ceremonies. The speakers have taken us through a wonderful journey of fashion in Paris with a camera, all the way back to our factories, dreaming for a win-win solution, being a preferred supplier. I think it's been an excellent session, a lot of stimulation for a wonderful lunch. We can chat with the speakers. We've got a lot of questions over lunch. Thank you.